any second guessing here about not having Clark on the Olympic team?
From me? No.
There's no doubt in my mind about not having Clark on the Olympic team.
Coach of the home team, there's going to be a lot of people cheering for that other side.
I'll get 2 shits.
How about 1?
Not even 1 shit.
The home team will have plenty of support, but as for the other side, I couldn't care less. Not even a little. You won't believe how quickly things can change.
So, we know the Caitlin Clark effect is real, obviously. It is incredibly obvious that it's real. But this might just sum it up more than anything else. But the reality is, Caitlin Clark is a bigger draw than the WNBA Finals, and it's proven by this.
The Caitlin Clark effect is undeniable. It's clear to see. However, this situation really highlights it more than anything else. The fact is, Caitlin Clark is a bigger draw during the WNBA Finals, and this just proves it.
Hey, dummies. For the first time, in the history of basketball, you have arguably a player who is the most popular player in the world. You could argue right now, Caitlin Clark is the most talked about, discussed, most popular, most puts asses in the seats, single basketball player in the world. You could argue that. Yeah, you could say maybe LeBron, Luka, whatever you want, but you can argue it. And you leave her off the Olympics team, it's not only a showcase for her, it's for the sport and the other WNBA players who are on this team. How dumb, how brain dead, how idiotic do the people running this thing have to be?
For the first time in basketball history, you have a player who could be considered the most popular in the world right now. Caitlin Clark is arguably the most talked about player globally, drawing huge crowds. While names like LeBron or Luka come up, it's hard to ignore her impact. And yet, she's left off the Olympic team? It's a missed opportunity for her and the sport. How could the decision makers be so out of touch?
I'd rather watch paint dry. I'd rather watch dirt just be moved around. Because Caitlin Clark's not on the team. If she's there, it's appointment TV. You people, whoever did this, honestly, hey, take your brain, put it in a museum, and study it for how dumb you are.
I'd rather watch paint dry or see dirt being moved around than watch this. If Caitlin Clark were on the team, it'd be must-see TV. Whoever made this decision, seriously, take a moment to reflect on it. Your thinking is completely baffling.
Caitlin Clark is PR. That's where, how can they leave her? Once again, everybody's, out to get her. They don't want to grow the game.
Caitlin Clark is a powerhouse in public relations. So how can they leave her out again? It feels like everyone is against her, and it's clear they aren't interested in growing the game.
If you guys don't know, teams have season tickets. In general, teams have season tickets. Sometimes teams have half season tickets. Sometimes have all these other packages. But one team, the Minnesota Lynx, have decided, you know what? We've got our season tickets. But, we're cool with charging you guys like $30 per game for all of these. But when Caitlin Clark comes to town, we're going to be adding 10 times the price probably. You're probably looking at $300 tickets when Caitlin Clark comes to town.
Most teams offer season tickets or other packages, but the Minnesota Lynx have decided to charge $30 per game for regular tickets. However, when Caitlin Clark comes to town, they plan to hike the price to around $300 per ticket.
So, if you guys didn't see, there is a package for home games for the Minnesota Lynx. So you can see here, these are half-season packages. So you can purchase packages to see every other game. You can get half-season packages for all of these games here, all of these games here. Option to add Fever games. Purchase a half-season package to receive access to add on the Fever game.
If you didn't see, the Minnesota Lynx offer packages for home games, including half-season packages. These packages allow you to attend every other game, and you also have the option to add on games against the Fever. You can purchase a half-season package and gain access to these additional games.
You cannot buy a ticket to the Fever game without buying a half-season package. That is how confident they are in this. You cannot buy a ticket straight up for the Fever unless you are at all the other games. So you can't just buy a ticket to the Fever. Any other game, cool. The other games are all in the packages, and they're probably charging as much as the entire package to just watch the Fever game, which is absolutely crazy. You
can't buy a ticket to the Fever game separately. You have to purchase a half-season package to gain access to it. That's how confident they are in this approach. So, if you want to attend the Fever game, you're required to attend all the other games in the package. The cost for just the Fever game could end up being as much as the entire package, which is completely unreasonable.
We knew the Caitlin Clark effect was real, but it's like, there are people still oblivious to it. Still people absolutely oblivious to it. But you've now got like purchase a half-season ticket to receive access to add-on to Fever games. The Go has her own package. She literally has her own package. They could even sell out Gamebridge for day one of Fever camp. They 100% could. I'm sorry, they could sell out Gamebridge for day one of Fever's training camp. There's a 0% chance they couldn't.
We all knew the Caitlin Clark effect was real, but it's surprising how many people are still oblivious to it. Now, they're even offering half-season tickets with the option to add on Fever games. The Go 8 has her own package. She's that big of a draw. Honestly, they could sell out Gamebridge for the first day of Fever training camp. There's absolutely no doubt they could do it.
If Unrivaled, if somebody got injured for Unrivaled, and it was while they're waiting for someone, they were like, we've got Caitlin Clark for one day and one day only, but instead we're going to move it into wherever, is it in Orlando or it's in Miami, where Miami, the Miami Heat play in the American Airlines Arena is Miami, or is it the American Airlines Center? Is that the Mavs? American Airlines Arena, I think, is Miami, or whatever it's called now. So you could move it to there, Unrivaled, and it would sell out in 10 minutes if she was there for one night and one night only. That's the reality of the situation.
If someone were to get injured and they needed to replace an event for a day, just imagine this. They could bring Caitlin Clark in for one day, just one day, and move it to a major venue like the American Airlines Arena in Miami, or wherever it's called now. If they did that, it would sell out in 10 minutes. That's the reality. She's that much of a draw.
Like, I've never seen a team do something like this before. Maybe there is. Maybe there has been. But I've never heard of season tickets that discount certain games just because they're the bigger games. And also the fact that you have to pay, you have to buy a season ticket. Like, I've seen times where in order to get access to certain games, you have to basically, it's first come, first serve with season tickets and stuff. Like, as a Leeds United fan, to see the playoff final, it was like season tickets got first preference. Then you had to have gone to 10 games during the year.
I've never seen a team do something like this before. Maybe it has happened, but I've never heard of season tickets being discounted for certain games just because they're bigger. What's even more surprising is that you have to buy a full season ticket to get access to these games. I've seen situations where, to get access to certain games, it's first come, first served for season ticket holders, like with Leeds United for the playoff final. You had to be a season ticket holder and have attended at least 10 games during the year to even be considered for a ticket.
My favorite part about this is it is the home of I don't give two shits about Caitlin Clark, Cheryl Reeve.
My favorite part about this is that it's the home of I don't care at all about Caitlin Clark or Cheryl Reeve.
The amount of people that still call AJ Wilson the face of the league. I'm sorry, you don't need to purchase a 10-game package for the option to watch AJ Wilson play basketball. You don't. And AJ Wilson is in, obviously it's everyone in the packages to see every other team other than the Fever.
Do people still call AJ Wilson the face of the league? I'm sorry, but you don't need to buy a 10-game package just to watch her play. AJ Wilson is, of course, part of everyone's package, but you don't have to jump through hoops to see her play basketball.
And when you take into stock the fact that outside of Kevin Durant, aging superstar, LeBron James, 40 years old, and Steph Curry, there's not a single NBA player more popular today than Caitlin Clark. That is a problem.
When you consider the fact that, outside of aging superstars like Kevin Durant, LeBron James, at 40, and Steph Curry, there's not a single NBA player more popular than Caitlin Clark right now. That's a real issue.
But the Fever games are just they're that big in general, and they're going to be that big of games. That many people are going to want to see them. It's tough to just put it in with a package because was it the Target Center? I think, is it the Target Center that they played? I was literally there a few months ago. But for that arena, when you can make more money from the Fever game based on tickets than you can for all these games combined, I can kind of see why they're doing what they're doing.